Hello, everyone. Welcome to Keeping It True. I am your host, Nino Reyes, and today I have the amazing Jacina Love with
I
me.
am super excited. Like I said when we
Hi.
first seen each other, it's
Yes.
been like years of
Yes.
support, years of
Yes.
just like
I saw you at
tapping
Summer
in.
Jam like 2, 3 years
Yes, we
ago.
did. There
We
was
was at the
another.
pit.
Yes, there was another place that we had bumped into each other as well.
Yes,
But it was
possibly.
very quick.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
very. Oh my God, it's fine. We finally get
You
to meet, and we
know,
kept it moving.
we run in like circles in this business.
Yes.
Like it'd be like you're at an event and like you guys see each other and it's like, oh hey
But
hey,
it's
and
so
all
good to
that.
like actually touch base
I
and all
know.
the support you give
I
and just
know.
watching you. I
Yes,
mean,
thank you.
I remember last time we was talking about Disney. Like
Yes.
you work.
Yes.
But this is not your Instagram.
No, no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no. You're so funny. You're so cute. But I do want to give a quick intro of Jacina and who she is. Today, we're joined by Jacina Love, who is a vibrant Brooklyn native, a journalist at thisis50.com, and the founder of The Pull Up Show, who is dedicated to uplifting her community, inspiring the next generation through her work as a teacher and nonprofit leader. With a passion for art and a motto of do what you love, Jacina embodies positivity and purpose, making her a remarkable force in media and education.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm crying. No, that was beautiful.
No, you're amazing. I do want to know a little bit about, your education side. So you teach.
Yes,
Can you
I'm
tell
a
us
high
a little
school
bit about
teacher.
that? Yes.
In Brooklyn. I mean, I'm a
Okay.
Brooklyn girl, so
Okay.
I feel like I have to stick to my
Yeah.
community
I love
and
that.
help I feel like I want to be the teacher that I needed growing up.
I love that.
Teaching is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say that, I mean the kids. I'm
Okay.
so there for the kids. People think that, the kids are the part of the job that's hard. They're like, how do
Yeah.
you deal with them?
Yeah.
For me, it's what's keeping me there.
Yeah.
I'll be real. For me, it's what's keeping me there.
That's great.
The instructional stuff.
Difficult.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into the systematic
So
stuff.
what are you teaching? Like, what subjects do you teach?
So I'm an English teacher.
Oh, nice.
And
It
English
makes
as a
sense?
second language as well.
Okay.
So
it makes sense as a journalist, as a writer,
Yes.
to like
I've
definitely
always
take the
loved
field.
English.
That's
and
amazing.
English as a second language. So I'm also tapping into the immigrants coming in.
Okay.
And right now it's so special because
Yeah.
even in high school, they're coming in by the tons. Like I have about 30 new kids that just came into the country.
Gotcha.
So
Wow.
to be that first person that they're connecting with, and
Yeah.
they feel that they're secure and they're feeling at home.
Yeah.
It just
That's crazy.
it's-
You're really seeing that transition that's happening in New York with like a new immigrant population coming in.
Yes,
That's
yes.
crazy.
It's
But
so
we'll touch
crazy.
base about that in a bit. I
Definitely.
do want to go back to your, youth, right? Like, so what part of Brooklyn did you grow up in? And you are also Puerto Rican, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about, your community where you grew up and how that has played a big part or a pivotal part in who you are today?
So of course, Brooklyn, especially at the time, I mean, strong, heavy Latinos in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Got
So this is
you.
the original Williamsburg. Okay, before the gentrification,
Got you.
before when
Got you.
Domino Sugar was Domino Sugar. Am I aging myself? It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, when it came to the culture, when it came to the music being played in the street, the flags being hung in this, the streets,
Love it.
playing in the street. I mean, I came from all of that. Williamsburg,
Yeah.
Brooklyn was home.
Gotcha.
Catholic school girl, public school, Catholic school. I did a little bit of everything.
Gotcha.
Played all sports.
Okay.
A baton twirler who came out in the Puerto Rican Day Parade every
Wow.
year, and that was all community based, which is
Gotcha.
why I'm like, I'm such a
Yeah.
community person because
Gotcha.
the community then,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's
I can
the
imagine
reason
so
why
like
I'm where
rich
I'm
in
at.
culture.
Oh
I
my
can imagine.
goodness, so rich in culture, and I mean,
Yeah.
even now with the gentrification, it's so hard to erase that.
Yeah.
So shout out to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and
You
all
can
our
still see it. You
Latinos
can
and
still see it.
African Americans just
Yeah.
thriving, and
I love it.
and it's a beautiful
I love
thing.
that. I love that. So, did you know, like early on in your life during that time growing up in Williamsburg, that you wanted to be a journalist? Like, when did you find that inspiration that was the career path that you wanted to take?
So it's so funny because I used to write a lot of poetry.
Okay.
Write a lot of stories, but at the same time, I was always putting on shows for my family.
Okay.
So there was like a little singer in me somewhere.
You were an entertainer. Just
A
early
little bit
on.
of everything.
Gotcha.
And I would say it started out in 2022. DTF radio,
Okay.
internet radio.
Okay.
And for me, it was never the writing. I didn't transfer the writing and the journalism, and I didn't see it like that. I saw it more as, again, putting on shows, or I knew it was something in that.
Gotcha.
And my uncle, who started out DTF radio, was like, what's up? You want your own show? Like,
Yeah.
you've been doing this all your life. Just get behind the mic and talk.
I love
Do
that.
your top 10. Do a few little...
So your uncle
Yes.
inspired you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yes.
amazing.
My uncle inspired him. He actually pushed me.
Yeah.
I would say everybody in the family had a little bit to put in with the inspiring. Also, again, the community, so many different arts classes. I was even a part of Henry Street Settlement School,
Okay.
where we learned theater and singing with theater, and so I had a
Amazing.
lot of inspiration around me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he was like, go ahead, get behind the mic. And I've been behind the mic.
Ever
and-
since.
Yeah, ever since.
I love that. Shout out to the uncle, though.
Yes.
Because sometimes, let me tell you, I feel like there be people in your life that really come in and they ignite that fire in you.
Yes.
Like, sometimes when people interview me, they're like, where you grew your inspiration? For me, it was my English teacher in 10th grade.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
I wanted to be a
God. I love that.
doctor. I wanted to be a doctor. And she was like, you're a really good writer. You need to go into journalism. And I was like, what is journalism? And I started like researching it because I thought it was like writing in
Wow.
journals. And then I wanted to work for National Geographic as a photographer. Then I started seeing that news anchors were journalists. And I'm like, Mommy, I want to be on Telemundo like an anchor. Girl. So I'm like, sometimes thinking one person planted that idea of something that I'm pursuing now. And to hear you say the same is like, it's really crazy.
It's so
how one
crazy.
person can like make a huge transition into
One
your life.
person is so true.
Yeah.
And the fact that you said teacher,
Yeah.
it's just
And
full
then your
circle. It's
English
showing me-
teacher.
yes. It's like
crazy.
It gives me hope for my students
Yeah.
as well.
No, and you started the conversation with like that's what you aspire to do is really to inspire them and change their
That's right.
lives. So it's
That's
like
right.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you can see that, sometimes because I used to be an educator, I was a teacher too. So I know that
That's so
yeah,
cool. I
girl.
didn't
It's
know.
girl.
Girl, okay, well, I'm working to be where you are right now.
yeah,
Okay, where you say, okay, enough with the
Yeah.
teaching. Cute, but let's get on to
You're silly, man.
I'm very
But
silly.
It's true though. But it's very true. Like it's really crazy. Like sometimes where we start and like seeing what we do
Yep.
and like where we end up. I think it's all just keep following your heart.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know
Yes.
you big on that because you big on the love.
Oh
and we're
my
gonna talk about
God.
it.
Yes, I am. Okay.
So I want to ask you, like, are you able to share your journey from internet radio to FM radio in London? And how did the whole London thing happen? And now to thisis50.com. Like, what have been some highlights along the way?
So the internet radio thing was so crazy. I mean, the London radio thing was so crazy how it happened. Because I feel like one door, for me, literally, from the London radio to the This Is 50, it was one door closed and another one opened. And I was actually in college.
Okay.
I stopped everything to
Yeah.
finish college, to really do what I had to do. My son was already getting older. I was like, all right, I need something secure.
Gotcha.
Once I was done with that, the week I finished college, I got the phone call
Okay.
it was internet radio here
Okay.
in New York, but it was aired on Represent Radio in London. And I was like, what? FM out there in London. And I
Yeah.
was like, what? And
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, we'll record out here.
That's crazy.
And then we'll play it out here on internet radio, but at the same time, it's going to go out to London. And I was like, stop.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, growing up, I swore I wanted the London accent. And here I am. So anyway,
Yeah.
that happened. And I would say I even went to London to shout out to Represent Radio,
Gotcha.
the Big Bang Show,
Yeah.
DJ Hart.
Okay.
I went out to London. I got to meet the team. They loved my Brooklyn accent. How weird is that, right?
Yeah. Everybody loves New York now.
Yo, it's so crazy. I'm
they
like,
love our accent everywhere.
I'm like, no. Say this. Say hello. And they say hello. They're like, no. You say hello. And we're both going back and forth with them. But that journey was absolutely beautiful to
Yeah.
think. Like, I already made my little goal of FM radio.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I look at that little
That's
chapter of my
amazing.
life.
Gotcha.
Then that door closed. And
Yeah.
the same week that closed,
Mm-hmm.
This Is 50 fell on my lap.
Got you. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do at This Is 50?
Yeah, so This Is 50, I'm basically the one running the interviews right now.
Okay.
They're when it comes to This Is 50, we have to understand it's 50 based, right? Like it's about 50 Cent. If it's not about 50 Cent, this is 50 Cent's fans. You know, so it's not. They don't have to do much to get their numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's about 50 Cent.
Yeah.
But I came in and I would say the way I've been able to sit with 50 Cent, the way I've been able to sit with Tony Yayo. I mean, the people that I've sat with from Davies to what a blessing.
Gotcha.
Thank you, This Is 50. Because I mean that's really what it's been for me. I just took who I was, and I just brought it to them, and they've loved me since, and they've treated me amazing, and they throw me everything. They're like, no, we want you on this, your energy, you're this. So it's all been a journey of just uplifting me in the career that I'm doing and taking me to that next level.
I love that. So how did the opportunity come? Was it that you met someone saw you, found your clips online? Like,
so shout out to Laura.
Okay.
Laura's been in my life for years. I mean, she's behind No Jumper. She's doing her thing. She's out in Cali.
Yeah.
And so Laura hits me up and she's like, I have a friend I want to introduce you to. And his name is D. Shout out to D. He became my manager. And he just was like, yo, like, are you ready to do an interview this week?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, for This Is 50. I'm like,
oh, that's fire. Yeah.
And that's the way it all began. Like, literally, it was just like from one transition to the next.
And how long ago was that?
This was, I would say, 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes,
and now you be like at shows, concerts, you be covering
of everything.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
From the Rolling Louds to the just getting backstage passes, getting access. It's almost like, right, and I'm sure you've been through this. We pray so hard and work so hard to get somewhere, right? And then when we get it, it's almost like we don't even notice it's happening. So I'm sitting here, I don't even know how to explain this because I've just been living it.
But that's amazing that you are able to like reflect and practice forms of gratitude. Because I think that's what continues to open doors for you is like when you're in the space of gratitude. And I could sense your energy that you're like very lively and like you're alive and you're full of that energy and positivity.
I want to be in the
that's
moment.
Beautiful.
I want to take from the moment. I'm very that.
And that's when things happen for you, when you are living from that space.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing. I love this. So I want to talk about the pull-up show.
Okay.
Yeah. So
my baby.
What inspired you to start it, and what's the mission behind it?
Yo, again.
Yeah. I love how you say yo.
Because we're just gonna touch base on what we spoke about earlier. One person.
Okay.
So my cousin's man.
Okay.
Shouts to Greedy.
Yeah.
Jay. He's like lavish lift. He's like, yo, do interviews in the truck.
Okay.
And I'm like, don't tell me that. I'll book something like, I have something next week. We'll do it in the truck. He's like, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, and we'll call it the pull up because that's what we're doing. That's what we about. That's what we do in Brooklyn. We pull up.
Right.
And that's the way it came about. Literally, that was it.
That's crazy.
And the next week I was with Lola Brooke before she even blew up. I was with, and that's been the momentum ever since. And to me, it's the idea of I'm good anywhere I go.
Gotcha.
I feel I can pull up anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to get the stories.
Period.
I dare to pull up to the hood. I dare pick you up. I dare pick up an artist in the projects.
Yeah.
I dare, because it's home.
And y'all do that? Like, y'all actually go to their homes and pick them up
literally.
and, like, then interview them?
Unless they don't want that, but usually we're going to them. And artists are loving that. They're like, what? I don't have to go nowhere? They're like, where do I meet you?
I'm
like, where do I meet you?
Yeah.
Literally, like, no, where do I meet you?
Yeah. And you mentioned that you interviewed Lola Brooke. Are there any other artists that you feel like stand out to you that you've been able to interview so far on your show? Oh my
God, there's been so many.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I've lost track of the amount of, and I mean, when I was doing Still Got the Juice as well.
Okay.
I was doing so many artists. We were doing what, like 15 artists a week.
Wow.
In a month, in 2 months, we had already almost came close to 100.
Wow.
So this was
working.
I'm like, shouts to everybody I've interviewed. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing.
Yeah.
But I just can't like name drop right now. I'm like in my own light right now.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
I get you. I love that. And so you've been interviewing since 2008. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in the industry over the years?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So first of all, everybody's interviewing.
Okay.
So when we came from 2008 when nobody was doing it to now, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
I would say the type of music, the fact that we have so many different genres of music now.
That's
Just,
true.
you know, it's like a gift and a curse at the same time, if I might say. To see where social media has taken the art of business to be an entrepreneur is on another level now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The fact that I came from an era where they would say, you can't do too many things at once. Now it's like, you're only doing one thing.
You gotta do a
You
lot
better
of
be
things.
doing 5 things.
Yeah.
So all these different transitions,
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, also where the industry is now, all the truths coming out from when we were younger and
It's the age of Aquarius.
Oh my goodness, all the truths coming out.
Yeah.
All the music I can't listen to anymore.
Yeah. It's
From
crazy.
cancel culture to, there's just been so much the way the industry, the music, the culture. And I mean, that's what makes it a culture, right? Because you go from one thing and it just keeps adapting and taking from everything that comes around it.
Yeah.
So
that is a part of what we do, is having to adapt and
That's
having
right.
to adapt with technology and just the way times are moving.
gosh.
It's crazy, right?
now, even behind, like at first I only wanted to be behind the mic.
Yeah.
Now it's like, if you're not in front of a camera, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
You're missing out.
I think that's really your purpose. And I hope that you really like dive fully into it.
Oh,
And like
thank
fully
you.
invest into that. That is your superpower, your voice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And I've always said, like,
Yeah.
I've always said Angie Martinez inspired me because no matter what was on the radio, I knew her voice.
Yeah.
So her voice to me,
Yeah.
being at being at the parade, being Angie Martinez was like so New York. So that was the dream,
Yeah.
to be the voice that no matter where you hear it, you're like, oh, I know that person without seeing the person.
And representation.
Yes.
It's something about seeing
Yes.
someone that looks like you, comes from your background.
God,
And it
yes.
makes you feel like if they could do it, it's also possible for me, and
my
it is
goodness.
attainable, you
Yes.
know? So I'm sure like you seeing Angie was like, all right, Shorty comes from the same background as me. That means I could do it.
I'm like, you sure she not my titi? Like, what's happening here? Okay.
I love that. So, like, what is something that you really enjoy, or what do you enjoy most about conducting interviews, and how do you prepare for them?
Ooh, okay. So I remember in the beginning when I started, I was like, no, I just want this conversation, this
Yeah.
natural conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
no, girl, I'm sorry. There's some things that come naturally, but sometimes nothing comes naturally. You know, that type of thing. So preparing is literally researching, looking them up, like really dive. And this is where journalism plays in,
Yes,
right? So,
yes.
okay, I didn't go to school for journalism,
Yeah.
but I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm going to give myself that title,
Yeah.
you know?
That's really what it is. I think that anything in this career, it's about walking in it versus like, it's not about you collecting degrees. It's about when you actually do the work properly
Exactly.
and like
Yes.
following the steps, you know? I think that's what really matters.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I would say interviewing sometimes is hard. Like a day like today, I've been going since 6 in the morning.
Okay.
I was teaching. I was like,
Sheesh.
oh my God, I got to
Yeah.
make this happen.
Yeah.
Got to run over here to see if I get a little shirt.
Yeah.
Gotta make, so it's all
Did
about.
you get the shirt?
I did. Did I get the shirt, guys? I did.
You said.
Did I? Okay.
You're so silly.
So it's, I
Yeah.
mean, again, I feel like a piece of me is the type that my father raised me with the quote, go with the flow.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, there's work that, you know what
Gotta
I'm
put
saying? You have to
in.
put in. And then as you're putting in that work, you go with that flow.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the way it works for me.
Got you. I love that. Now, I want to talk about one of your very successful viral interviews with Blueface and Chrisean.
Oh, my goodness.
How did that come to be? And what was that experience like?
So I was super nervous.
Okay.
I'm running from work to do this. It was supposed to be at 5 p.m. It's now 7 p.m. We're at one location. We're still waiting for Blueface and Chrisean.
Yeah.
The publicist I'm with, she's like, we're going to have to go to this next studio where they're at. We're going to have to go to them.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So now we're rushing to them.
Okay.
Girl, I was nervous. I was like, what is going to come of this? I get there.
Yeah.
They had just did Angela Yee show. And I'm like, oh my God, they were drinking. And now I have to sit with them. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, how is this going to go? How's this going to be?
Mad unpredictable.
It was, so unpredictable. We had their team record us because now from the first location, I couldn't take my camera guy with me. It was Fashion Week. So he was leaving to a fashion show. I was going with no camera person, but the publicist was like, we're going to get this. We're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
So the network actually recorded the interview.
Okay.
We signed off on papers when we got there, whatever. It was supposed to be, the interview was supposed to be sent to us. And the interview,
it was Zeus Network that
so it was
filmed it?
Zeus Network. And they never sent the interview. But what they did was they used it for the show.
Gotcha.
So it became, I'll tell you this. The students, the children now are different. When it comes to they're tapped into YouTube, they're not tapped into there's so many artists out there.
Yeah.
They're tapped into they're tapped into different things.
So they saw you. Your kids saw you.
So I feel that's what I was getting at. I've done 50 Cent. I've done all these interviews. Crickets.
Yeah.
No, none. Oh, hey, Miss Moya, that's all I am in school.
Yeah.
Girl, when that interview dropped. First of all, first period was packed that morning.
Everybody came to school.
Everybody came to school. I had kids coming in randomly with bathroom passes like, hey, Miss Moore, I have to ask you a question. Was that you with Blueface and Christian? I was like, what? Get to class. What is happening?
Yeah.
It was
such
a cool... It was such a moment.
Yeah.
Going back to the interview, was a little nervous. It went cute.
Yeah.
For what it was, at the end, they told me to take a picture, right, with them.
Yeah.
And they told me to get in between both of them. And I'm like, girl. So I take the picture. When they leave, I'm like, who asked me to get in between? Because you were writing my death threats. What was happening?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was one of the coolest moments when it came to, the students knowing, I tapped into a different realm in my interviewing and just the age bracket of, who's really seeing my interviews. And it opened a really big door for me. These kids are
tapped into them, huh?
Yo.
Wow. That's crazy.
That was you?
I'm like, so y'all subscribe to Zeus then and y'all 15 years old? What y'all doing watching Baddies? What y'all doing watching Jocelyn's Cabaret?
Girl, you have to hear what they talk about every day. I'm like,
yo, these kids are grown. These kids are different.
Grown.
Yeah.
Y'all missing out on a lot of the innocence.
Yeah, I know. Things that we wish we had, right? Moments that we wish we could revisit. They don't even.
They have no clue.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, is there another maybe memorable interview that you probably had that stood out to you that you were maybe that was a peak for you in your career outside of Christian and Blueface?
I would. So I feel like there was different interviews that did that for me. But I would say when I met Cypress Hills, I feel like for me that was, because that was my father's Jay-Z. That was, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that began the whole momentum of coverage. You're going to cover the East Coast. We're on the West Coast. We love and it was solely because they loved my energy.
Gotcha.
All I did was sit with them, interview them, and they were like, can we stay tapped into you? Can we work with you? And so I feel like that was another moment that opened doors. But I feel like there's so many little ones.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I want to talk a little bit about the community work that you do. So you engage a lot into community work and giveaways. What drives your passions for community service?
So the community raised me. I would say I have a tight-knit family, strong family. Shouts to my family. And that they did everything they could for me. My mother passed away when I was younger. Okay. But the community raised me. It kept me so driven. It kept me thriving. It kept me focused. it kept me busy.
Yeah.
You know, going to dance class, just having all these little pockets to throw myself into. What a blessing.
I love that.
And I want that. That's what I want my platform for, just to create that whole momentum again, to create a community of a place where kids could thrive.
And you also have a nonprofit that funds high school graduates for prom night. Can you tell us about that too? And that's beautiful that you do that.
So that's my Promise project. It's called.
Okay.
And started out, it's going to be 10 years this year. And it started off with, again, family just saying, yo, what are we doing with all these dresses? We should be donating them. We should be...
Are they your dresses or they're like families and stuff?
They're families. They're gently used dresses.
Gotcha.
And the community, that first year when we did it, when I tell you the community poured in over 150 dresses that first year.
Wow.
Right now I have over 450 dresses of my inventory.
Wow.
Of dresses we've collected that are beautiful with tags.
So summertime goes crazy when it's about to be prom time, huh?
Girl,
you be busy.
I'm busy right now. Send me those dresses.
I love
and
that.
And this year we're opening up for boys and suits and haircuts. And so the dress is half the battle.
Yeah.
And I realized, all right, but what about prom prep? And there's so many makeup artists out here who...
Call me.
You know,
I do makeup, babe.
Oh.
I got you.
Okay.
And I'm all about giving back. So if I can do it with my own labor.
It's going to be fun. You're
I got you.
Love it.
I love
it. You're going to love it.
Let's do it.
Let's
make it happen. So lastly, if you could leave one message or piece of wisdom for your community, what would it be?
I am really, really about the quote, do what you love. It really all is driven from that. Because when you're doing what you love, you're doing it for love. It's just love driven. Yeah. And for me, it's like if you could choose anything, choose love. Even in your darkest moments, choose love.
I love that. Oh, you're such a beautiful person.
Too, girl. I'm
Thank
so happy
you
to be
so
here.
much. Like, I'm so glad that you came, that you showed up. I know you had a long day at work and you still came, and then you traveled from Brooklyn.
We tried to get in contact all day. I was like 5 more minutes, and it was 20 minutes later.
I'm sending you voice notes. I'm like, girl, you can get on the phone. I'm gonna send you this voice note real
girl,
quick.
Just this voice note, girl. You can make it, all right?
Yeah, call me when you can. But if you can, just share all your platforms with everybody, let them know where to follow you, where can they show you love. If you can just drop all those details.
Yes, it's Jacina Love everything.
Okay.
So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Jacina Love.
Gotcha.
And subscribe.
Gotcha.
Subscribe to the Pull-Up Show. The Pull-Up Show as well. Okay. Follow the Pull-Up Show. And we're here.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, beautiful.
And
what
this
a
is
blessing.
Keeping It True. One more time. Thank you to Jacina. And we'll see each other around.
See you soon, baby.
Thank you.